everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is Wednesday, March 29th. We are, of course, on the N.FM, as we always are, at 9 p.m. Eastern. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? How's your week been?
Oh, same old, pretty much.
Same old, same old?
Yeah.
Reading new comics or seeing new movies?
Saw Power Rangers this week.
How was it?
I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, me too. Sure,
Yeah.
we'll get into all that in a little bit. I thought it was fantastic. Now, have you watched any of the series to prepare for it? Because I know it's been on Twitch.
Yeah. Nah, I just went right back into it. Like, I didn't do any prep or anything for.
Ah, okay. Yeah, no, I watched what's his name? The angry video game nerd guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He did a whole thing on the Power Rangers, and then there was another video where it kind of went over like I watched all of the seasons up until Neo or Turbo. It was like fourth or fifth season, where he
Right.
kind of runs down exactly what happens. Just because I like going into a movie where I could be like, oh, that's an Easter egg, of something that I just totally might have completely forgotten. And thankfully, there was a ton of them, so that was fun.
Yeah, they had a good bunch, really.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I thought it was cool. That was all I saw though. I was gonna go. I was gonna get out and Kong, but there's just not enough time in the day at all.
No, yeah, I hear you. I keep meaning to go see Get Out, but I can't find the time, and I hate it because
Yeah.
there's so much good buzz around it, and I really do want to see it. I'm just, you know,
Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger because I was gonna see it after Power Rangers. The deal is the theater I went to, AMC, they have a Dolby theater where, you know how in like AMC theaters they have like an IMAX
yeah,
theater, where this theater had an IMAX and it has a Dolby, and I love the Dolby one because to me the picture is way better and the sound is, it's hard to explain, but there's just way more audio. It sounds like, I don't know, the seats literally rumble
is it the
when
does it have the Dolby Atmos system?
yes.
Yeah, okay, so it's got the speaker array like through the ceiling too.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is so sweet. Oh my god.
And when they preview it, they're like, before every movie, you're just like, oh my god, everything's moving like it's an earthquake.
Yeah,
And
yeah, I
it's
bet.
perfect. It's got the reclining seats, and it's almost like they gutted the entire theater and they made less seats with way more room, where the seats recline all the way and the person behind you is way higher than you. So like even if you went on I didn't do this, but I thought if I had my phone settings on low for brightness and I whipped out my phone, I doubt anyone could see me. I would never do that in a million years, but I thought that was cool. Like I couldn't see anyone above me when I looked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was a cool experience. I really liked it. But we'll talk about more about Power Rangers later when we get into some of the reviews and whatnot. But yeah, so have you read any comics or anything like that?
No, not in a while. I mean, besides the Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah. I'm ticking away at the X-Men, and at the same time, I'm trying to get all caught up on the Uncanny series and all the other series because Resurrection is right around the corner. I think today, Marvel has like a X-Men Prime and Inhumans Prime come out to like set up next month
Oh,
for the big
okay.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah, or not event, but the big X-Men. It seems like Marvel's like, okay, we get it. You guys want your X-Men back. You want some of your heroes back. To step in the right direction. We talked about it last week of how you look around the Marvel universe and it's so different. There's no one really that the heroes that I love to read and follow, they're gone.
Yeah.
Like these other new characters, which I'm sure will be fine given some time, but it didn't do anything good for the Inhumans to be the ones to push the X-Men out of the way.
Right.
The beloved X-Men.
Yeah, it didn't really give them. That's the consensus that I'm seeing, is that it was like, oh hey, they're kind of still, to use some wrestling terminology, like they're still just kind of a mid-card team.
Right, exactly. And it's like, hey, wait, they shouldn't be pushing out my favorite wrestler right now. Give them some time. Let them, let us enjoy them, but don't completely take away the people that we like. So, yeah, it should be interesting. I'm also like going through Civil War 2 because I never really finished it. So I got like 2 issues left on that because I know that has to do with everything that's happening.
Right. Yeah, I never went. God, I never went through that either.
Yeah.
Huh.
And oh, dude, I've been playing some Destiny.
Oh yeah.
Let me tell you, I think maybe a week or 2 ago, I was just saying I'm just probably gonna not do anything in the next one, but it's got me excited. My group of friends that I have been playing with since I got the PlayStation 4, it's kind of like that scene in Mighty Ducks 2 where they get the gang back together and they rollerblade around and go quack quack quack. That's literally what today was.
You guys rollerbladed around Destiny going quack quack quack.
Exactly.
I'd have paid to
Yes.
see that.
Exactly. Because what they have now is they have the new raid. I don't know. Now, please forgive me. I don't know fully the details about what's in it. All I know is that they have a new quest line where it's like you have to do all of this stuff, and at the end of it, it gives you something for the raid. But so I had to go do a bunch of patrols on planets. I had to go do this. I had to go do that. I had to do a strike list. I have to do this, that. I haven't even gotten to the point where we do the raid, but I love that it's like a treasure map again, where we got an X on the spot, and it's a whole new adventure. We don't know what certain things do. We get certain items that we just like, what does this do? And then our imaginations run wild. So we're sitting there just talking and chatting like, well, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? Well, what is this going to come? Let's look it up. And it reminds me, and I spoke about this last week, I think. It reminds me of those schoolyard conversations
Yeah.
where you're just like, well, what is this going to do? What is that going to do? What if we get this? How are we supposed to get the new armor? And I'm sure my friends who I'm playing with know most of it. But they knew a lot more than I did, but we still didn't know the end game. We still didn't know where all this is going and stuff, but it's fun. It's fun again. I love that they're trickling things back out. And today, actually the 30th, which is tomorrow, they are going to be, well, depending on you're listening to this, but on the 30th of March, they're going to release the official trailer. So they've released a teaser trailer.
Yeah,
and
it's fun. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I watched that. We'll talk all about that in a little bit, though. I know we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to talk about it briefly. About it's been fun to get back into Destiny, get my friends back, because I'll hop in every once in a while with them, but they're playing the Division.
Okay.
They've been playing the Division, so it was never my cup of tea. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go play the Switch or something. So I felt like I've been like on an island for a little bit. So it's been cool to jump back in and hop around with the buddies.
That's
So
good.
but yeah, man, that's pretty much all I've been doing. Getting ready for Persona. That's coming around the corner.
Yeah, when is that?
Next week.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah, we got Mania Sunday. My ticket is way up in the. I just hope a firework doesn't fall on me.
Yeah, right. God, like it did last time it was in Orlando. Jesus.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, because my friend showed me the video and I'm like, that's where my seat is. Like literally right up the very top. I don't know what I should do. Maybe I should get some advice. A lot of my friends are not going. There's like 6 of them. And they're all going to go watch it at one of the bars right next to the stadium.
Yeah.
And they're all disappointed I'm not going to it. So, it's weird. I don't know if I want to. I'm conflicted. I live in Orlando. I should go to this, right? I should go to Mania. But at the same time, I want to hang out with my friends that I think that might be more fun.
Yeah,
Um,
it's a weird. Yeah, that's what makes it a weird spot. Because it's,
yeah.
the only thing like I can equate it to is because like the only experience really that I have with something on this scale is because I'm a NASCAR fan, and I've
Hmm.
gone to the Daytona 500 for years, and
Hmm.
it's one thing, it's it's more it's weird. It's one thing to sit back somewhere and like watch it at home because you get a more comprehensive view of everything and you
Right.
get to see more of it. But being there is, I don't know, there's just something about it.
But
I
it's being there really with literally no one,
Yeah,
or
that's
being there with friends, right? Like you're still in this. I'm still, we could literally look at the stadium. My thought process was I could technically sell the ticket and then go to a lot of the other shows that are around it.
yeah.
Uh,
That may not
like
be, and especially because this year's card is not really exciting.
Well, I was thinking about getting Raw tickets. I was thinking about selling the
Yes.
Mania tickets, get some money, and then turn around and spend a fraction of it on the Raw ticket the next day and get a
If
nosebleed. It'll at least be it'll be an arena, so
Yeah,
it'll be loud and stuff. I was thinking about doing that instead.
that's not a bad idea. I would rather, like, if somebody gave me the choice, I'll do WrestleMania Monday. Oh yeah, I'll
Right.
do that Raw hands down because that's gonna
That's what I
be,
was thinking.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Did you?
because I'm old enough to where if in a year or two from now I really want to go to Mania, I can make it happen. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
as a kid, that's just a dream or whatnot. I technically could make it out. I'm sure we'll come to Florida, Miami. I don't know where else, Jacksonville, wherever they would do it. Probably Miami, I imagine.
yeah. Well, they did it
Um,
because they did it in Miami. What, 10 years ago? Something like that.
right, right. I'm sure it will come back there soon, especially with The Rock. Um,
Yeah,
so it won't be the end of the world. But I was just thinking about it, and I think I might do that instead because there's a lot of other shows around Mania that could be just as fun at a fraction of the price.
yeah,
And I kind of rather spend it around my friends and watching it with the whole place is going to be filled with wrestling fans anyway.
yeah.
So
That
you
made
know,
that I think would be a good idea. I know
I,
there's the argument to be made like, but you get to be at Mania. I'm like, yeah, but I see where you're coming from, and I think that's a better call. I do.
if I was there with my friends doing that, it would be
Oh,
a totally different story. But
oh yeah,
I'd rather be around my friends doing it than not. And
yeah,
so, we should have obviously planned a lot better. We didn't, and that was the thing is like, a lot of things fell through because I thought I had tickets with another group, but it all kind of fell through. And then I was like, okay, well, I do have this ticket to get up on the bleacher seats, but I would be bored with, that's the whole point of going with all your friends. So I
exactly,
don't know.
yeah,
So we'll see. So I'll
but
probably
yeah,
end up just doing Raw instead.
definitely.
But
Oh, you got to do that. Did you see the thing on the network?
no, what's going on?
Oh, well, no, the special they did for the Raw after WrestleMania.
Oh, okay. I thought they were going to air it the Raw after WrestleMania,
No,
but
no,
that's
it's
actually what the
yeah,
premise is.
it's up now. It aired Monday night. It went live
Awesome.
Monday night after Raw. Yeah, it's a fantastic. Like, I
Okay.
haven't quite finished it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I saw the previews with Big Cass and Enzo, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's this part of it. The main focus of it was the Raw last year, just because it was so fresh. But it does
Right.
go back to like, and here's some other big stuff that happened on this Raw, and
Oh, okay.
it's like, oh well, when Lesnar came back, or when Goldberg debuted, or all that stuff that happened the Monday after Raw. And for as much as they want to go back and say these things happened, it didn't really get interesting until the New Jersey crowd, what was that, a handful of years ago, when they started fandangoing. that
Oh,
was
really?
that was the one where it started to get crazy. That was the first one where they were like, oh shit, this is different. This is
Oh,
markedly
wow.
different. That's when the crowd really just grabbed it and made it their own.
See, I gotta watch it. I've been wanting to watch. I've seen the previews,
Yeah.
but I thought it was coming next week. So
No,
that's
no, it's
exactly what I'll be doing after this tonight.
yeah, it's up now, and it's like a little over half an hour, and I've seen almost all of it. it's a good look at like, hey, here's why, this Raw has always been big, but just in the last few years, the crowd has just kind of really taken over.
Yeah, I love the 24. Like, I honestly wish the WWE had a behind the scenes show. I know that's kind of what Total Divas is, and that's what I think the draw is for a lot of people. Is that, of course, there's all the drama and all the nonsense that the reality show nonsense that happens,
Right.
but you honestly get a really cool peek behind the curtain with what these people do behind the scenes. A lot of it's probably scripted and whatnot, but it's still cool to see them kind of just, behind the scenes. You
Yeah.
see them on the out and about. You see them behind Raw. You see when bad shit happens, how they react, and good stuff happens, how they react. That's also cool. They really should have a show just like behind the scenes. Here we go. Every month we're gonna show you like how we made this.
Right. Just pick something. Like, I love the WWE 24 stuff, but they're not like, you get one every so often. Like,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every 4 months it seems like, or every
Yeah,
6 months.
right.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly love. And that's why I would always recommend the network to anybody, because the stuff behind the scenes is sometimes even more fun to watch than what actually happens in the ring.
Yeah, right. No kidding.
Yeah, but well, we're coming up to a break, so when we get back, we'll get into some movie news and then TVs and video games, of course. But you are listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and let's get into some movie news, man. The big one at the top. Did you see the Justice League trailer?
I did see the recast Suicide Squad trailer. It was interesting. Fuck this,
Yeah,
man. I'm so tired of seeing the same thing over and over and over. Like, this time they're not even trying to hide it. It's the same.
Yeah.
It really is just the same trailer, but with Batman instead of the Joker. Like,
a lot of people are comparing it as well to the Avengers trailer, the first one.
I don't remember it well enough. I don't.
I didn't either until I went back and saw it, and they're because the same old. I don't know why this is a us versus them mentality when people watch these trailers.
Yeah.
But they're like, well, the Avengers is a lot of CGI and whatnot. But when you see the trailers for Avengers, when you see the trailers for Spider-Man, it seems to be still grounded in a real environment.
Yeah.
I think that's what throws me off so much about these trailers is that, I love how the new Star Wars movies use practical any chance they could and only use CGI when necessary. And that's, when they're in the scene in the woods and all that other stuff, I love that. But when you see this Justice League trailer, it's just a ton of CGI. It's too much.
And that's the thing, because you can tell. You look at this and you know, like, oh, nothing on that screen except for Ben Affleck is real. Like that,
right?
You
and
can.
Some of the coolest shots I think from the trailer were the real shots where he's in snow and he goes to Aquaman and like all that stuff was cool. The scene with the Flash that we've seen a bunch. You can tell he's in a real room.
Yeah.
But literally everything else. That's the only moments I thought were real. Everything else looked like it might as well have been a CGI movie.
Yeah. And it's going to make a crap load of money.
Yeah, oh no doubt.
And here's my theory on this. And there's DC is of the Transformers school of movies. In terms of you look at what Justice League looks like and look at Transformers, and you're like, oh, these could be in the same universe. They have the same look, they have the same feel. And they all suck, but they all make money. As opposed to the Marvel films, which maybe some of them don't make huge numbers. Ant-Man did not make buku bucks, but it was interesting and it was something that was cool. And here's my way of looking at it. Marvel gives us the movies we want. DC gives us the movies we deserve.
Right. And the whole time I saw the trailer, I thought, I completely agree with you, man. The whole time I saw the trailer, I thought, you know what? I kind of like the trailer, but in the back of my head, I knew the trailers are so good. I've been burned, of course, with Man of Steel, burned with Suicide Squad,
Yeah.
and then when I watched this trailer, I was like, that was a great music video. I loved the Beatles. Who was covering it? It was White Stripes or something.
I think.
I was like, that's neat. I love that we're coming together. I love the Beatles, so you got me there. And I thought that's cool. There's a lot of like you get the Aquaman and stuff. I love that Aquaman's a badass. There was a lot of things I did like about the trailer, but I know that, you know, I felt like they did show us all the cool scenes already.
Yeah.
Which is one of my complaints as well. Once we get into Spider-Man, I don't like that they're showing everything in these trailers.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as bad as Spider-Man's as showing everything, but at the same time, it was, I don't know. I was like, the whole time I thought, I was like, that was cool. That was a cool music video, but I know it's just not going to live up, because I know that was the coolest part about what we just saw was the best thing about the movie.
Yeah, and it makes me nuts, because I'm like, oh, okay, I've seen this trailer before, I've seen this movie before, I know exactly what's going to happen, and I almost want to just call the plot for this right now, and then see in like 8 months or whenever it is when does Justice League even come out?
November, I think.
November. So in like 8 months, like, we all know how this is going to play. They're all going to band together. They're going to fight Steppenwolf and the Parademons. They're not going to be strong enough. They're going to find that he's dug up Superman's body, but he's not actually dead, because, hey, it's Superman. And he's going to be brainwashed. They're going to have to unbrainwash him. He's going to join the fight. They're going to win. It's going to make Darkseid mad, and that's going to set up a sequel. There you go. I've just saved you all $16.
Yep, Superman's gonna have rad long hair.
Hey, you know what? If they bring back the mullet, all is forgiven.
Oh, well, they are. I mean, I honestly think he has long hair right now, and
I'd go see it just for that. Give me that black solar absorbent suit and the mullet. Hell yeah, I'm in. What the hell?
Well, what I didn't like is it looked like Ozzy Osbourne threw up on the whole trailer. Everything was dark. I would love some contrast, and I heard some good arguments that, look, a lot of this trailer looks like it's not on Earth, or it looks like Earth is being taken over by Darkseid, and I totally get that.
Right.
So that makes sense why they go to, what is it, Apocalypse or whatever. They go there, and it's hell on Earth and everything else, and so I totally understand that. But every scene is dark, everything, and when you think of Justice League, you think of brightness, you think Superman, I don't know, it just, it makes sense why Batman's dark. I totally understand why they wanted to make Aquaman more badass. Okay, that's fine, I dig it, but everything is just depressing in this thing.
Everything is dark and muted. I went back and looked through Man of Steel a couple days ago, and even, like, he's in the middle of Kansas, and there's cornfields, and there's signs, and it's small town America, but the colors are still muted. Like,
it looks like the day after a funeral.
Exactly, and that's been the entire, that's a really great way to put it for how the entire DC film universe has been.
It feels like the next day is rent's due, and you're completely short, and you just don't know what to do.
Right.
Like, that's the feeling you get when you see it's doom and gloom, and it's like, fuck, what do we do? This is a depressing moment, and there's no shining light at I'm sure maybe that's where they're going to have Superman come in. Hopefully he's the beacon of light that he comes back, and he, hopefully if DC was smart, obviously we can't change anything in the past, but if they said, hey, Adam, sit down for a moment and write the end of this, if they had Superman come back and he is the Superman we all know, and the Superman that that we all know and love, that we've read for years, I would be happy about that. That would be one point I would absolutely love to give them, if they made this opportunity to turn it around a little bit, which we know it's not going to happen.
Right.
That's how I would do it. That's how I would pin it at the end. I would have him be this figure that everyone looks up to,
Well, except they did that already in Batman vs. Superman, when they showed how everybody mourned him at the funeral, even though they hated him 20 minutes before that.
True. No, absolutely.
I mean,
if he comes back and his character is there,
right? Yeah, I agree. I want to see the Big Blue Boy Scout. That's what I want to see. I want to see this shining. I want to see bright freaking colors for a change. That's all I want. Even the Flash is like a crimson metallic red. I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to us? Why?
He looks like the Injustice Flash.
Yeah, and I mean that's fine for the fact that that game is set in a world where everything has they're in a world of total domination and tyranny. I don't expect bright, happy colors, but
exactly. Well, I mean, even in that game, at the very beginning of it, you're in what we know as the DC universe, and it's bright and it's colorful.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you're right. Then they go into the Injustice universe, and it's like, oh yeah, this is terrible. This is a nightmare place. You don't want to be here. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, watching that, would you want to? If you had small children, I don't know. That might be a weird movie to take them to.
I wouldn't take them to it. I would not. I wouldn't take a 5-year-old to go see Justice League. I wouldn't do it.
Right. No, I mean, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. There's probably a lot. There's probably people out there that would be way stricter than us too, that wouldn't go near it.
Oh, and I've seen so many comment threads going the other way. They're like, "This looks amazing. This looks awesome," and I'm like, "Wow, you guys are why we're getting Transformers 5."
I think the people that are like, "Oh, this is awesome," they're really just thinking about themselves. I think. It's one of those things where it's it's kind of like the what is it, the John Cena debate. It's like, it'd be cool to see him turn heel, but you gotta think of the kids too. Like, you gotta see the big picture. Like, it makes sense. Like,
right? Except like we were just talking about, does this make sense for kids?
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like, it doesn't make sense to make it this dark. It would make way more sense to make this family friendly, like Disney does with Star Wars and Marvel, and not everything. And you said this a while ago. These studios are going to look at Daredevil or Deadpool's success and go, hey, let's just do it to everybody. It makes sense for Wolverine. It makes sense for Deadpool. And in a way, we'll talk about in a little bit, it makes sense for Venom. But it does not make sense for the Justice League, to make it so dark.
It absolutely doesn't. And it didn't make sense for Batman vs. Superman. And that's why that movie sucked. It had nothing to do with Rotten Tomatoes. I don't care what Brett Ratner says.
Right, yeah, Jesus, what the hell is he talking about?
And his thing, like, okay, first of all, he completely misunderstood Rotten Tomatoes, it seemed. Right. And my other thing was, he used the word art. The man who made Rush Hour 3 and Tower Heist doesn't get to talk about art in film. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he also directed a Cisco music video.
Oh, well, then fuck him twice.
No, come on, I love Cisco. I heard Cisco on the Kind of Funny show, and he's talking about, like, he just nonchalantly mentions that he flew out to China to shoot a music video with Brett Ratner and all these other people, and the Kind of Funny people are losing their minds. And like, he has some crazy stories. But anyway, yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I don't know. You could tell Brett Ratner just doesn't understand it.
No, and he's just, from that whole article, it was just like, and I blame movie aggregate sites which are about numbers, and film criticism is dead. Like, hang on, Chief. First, I agree the internet has led to a downfall of great many things, but the idea with Rotten Tomatoes is you go and you look. If you want to stop at the score, that's on you. And sometimes the score, you may look at a movie and see it's got a terrible score. How many movies do we genuinely love that are just awful? Like, they would get horrible tomato meters. And yet
look at Warcraft. I loved Warcraft.
Yeah.
It didn't stop me once to enjoying that movie.
No, if you're like, that's on you. If you're like, oh, I'm just gonna stop at this number, like, that's...
Well, I mean, it's all about money. That's honestly the only reason he's upset, is because he's upset that people see Rotten Tomatoes, and he believes that's what makes people not go see movies. And so if a movie is mediocre, then he thinks that if they see that Rotten Tomatoes score, they'll just wait for Netflix. So instead of adapting the mentality of, oh shit, maybe I should make better films, he goes into the mode of attacking. I mean, it makes sense
Yeah.
what he's doing. The guy needs to make better films.
Yeah.
Period.
And I mean and I know film is a whole films are made by committee and it's not always his fault, but then when you come out and do this sanctimonious crap. Look, what's the tomato meter rating for this second Transformers film? And look how much money it made. So shut up. like,
Well, no, you're absolutely right. No,
like,
you are absolutely right about that. I think it's at 19.
yeah, and see, and that
Yeah,
thing's made $1 billion. Yeah,
right,
right, okay.
exactly. I mean, Power Rangers probably isn't too high up on it, but we loved it,
Yeah.
I think it's a 48% for critics and 80% for the audience. That makes sense. It's not, you're an idiot if you go into that and think you're getting Shakespeare or something, or
Right.
Goodwill Hunting.
Yeah.
But you can be pleasantly surprised if you thought you were going in and getting Twilight or the Transformers.
Right.
It's like, oh wow, this is an actual film. Like the cinematography, the way it's shot, you're like the characters,
Yeah.
the flaws they had. It was, go watch an episode of Power Rangers,
Yeah, it's
season
there.
1, and
Yeah.
then watch this.
And I wrote,
Like,
it was great. I got home from that and I did a review for it, and that was awesome. I feel great writing, and so that was cool.
I gotta look at that. Post that in some of these groups that we're in on Sunday for Submission Sunday.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, I gotta read that once we're
Yeah,
done.
it's
I
up
saw
in
you
the
post it while I was
it's a good
driving.
thing. My favorite line that I put in there was that kind of difference of like the old Mighty Morphin show, and maybe even some of the newer ones. I don't know. I haven't watched it in 20 years. It's
Right.
they were PSAs. These were after school specials with spandex.
Right.
This is not that. This is like, okay, we have to make an actual movie now. And that's
Yeah.
what they did. It's totally different in all the right ways.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some moments in it, and we'll talk about it later. Like, this isn't really a spoiler, but there's a moment where someone's sick, and that really got me. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck, like I know what that's like to watch someone with cancer or something like that. And, I did not expect that from a Power Rangers movie. One iota. You know what I mean?
You had the best line when you posted on Facebook that you had seen it. You said it was better than it had any right to be.
Oh yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
I used that line coming out of the theater. I was talking
Yeah.
to some dude in front of me, just kind of turned around and started talking to me as we were leaving. And that was a line that just came out because it's absolutely true.
Yeah, yeah. There's no reason it should have been that good, and it really was. I hope people go see it in droves so that we can get. They said they have 6 of them planned. I really want this to do well.
Yeah.
And they have times. My biggest complaints for some of the way the Zord. We'll talk about it later. The Zords and stuff looked, and I'm sure now that they'll have some more money and they'll hear the feedback, they might be able to adjust it because if anything, Power Rangers changes. It's not going to stay the same.
Yeah, that's the whole point. It's what's the word? It morphs from one thing to another.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that will not be a problem. No, and look, the box office numbers are not awful. They're not going to be near what they want it to be, but that was their fault for opening the week after Beauty and the Beast. Let's be honest. But
that's true. What are their numbers at?
What were they? What was it at? Like 50? Is it probably up to 55, 60 now? Maybe I think.
Let's see here.
And it was
Power Rangers box office for Box Office Mojo?
Yeah.
Domestic is 43. Let's see here.
Foreign is what? Do we have a worldwide yet?
18 million. Worldwide, okay. 61 million.
Okay. And out of a production budget of 100, you figure an ad budget of almost that again. So you're looking at a total budget of maybe 200. Now, the box office numbers are not going to be great. The merchandising numbers are going to be off the charts.
Right.
That's where they're going to make their money back, and that's what's going to greenlight a sequel. It's like, oh, we sold a shitload of toys here.
Oh yeah. I imagine once word of mouth goes around, this is gonna be one of those films where people our age will be like maybe, but then when they hear everyone talking about it, they're like, okay, I'm in. Like everyone in my group chat, I think one other person saw it before me when one of my chats, and the rest were like, I've been hearing it's good. That's weird, right? And I was like, you need to go see this. And now I've convinced like 5 of them to. All right, I'm checking that out this weekend.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Well, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll get back. We'll get some more movie news. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. We'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And let's get into the other big trailer this week, Spider-Man Homecoming. There's been some new posters, which look fucking phenomenal, man.
Yeah,
the one with him on the Brooklyn sign, I want that.
Yeah, that's it. That'd make a good piece of wall art for sure.
That looked amazing. Yeah, man, I love it when it looks like straight up from the comic, like Alex Ross painting or something. And we got the trailer. What'd you think of the trailer?
It was different because it was seriously, it wasn't just like, oh, we added some extra scenes. It was like, oh no, this was a whole different tone than the first one was. And I don't know, man. I would have been okay without it. I mean, I liked it, but I think this is kind of what you were talking about earlier. Like, I didn't need to see all that.
Right. Yeah, I thought it was way too much shown. We've seen the part in the trailer before where the ship breaks apart. We didn't need to see the rest of the scene.
Yeah, where it's that was I could have done without that.
Yeah, we didn't need to see all that. We didn't need to see. I felt like we saw between this and all the other things they've shown, like I feel like we've probably seen all of Tony Stark, like every scene in these trailers. It's almost like they're like, we need to put as much, Robert Downey Jr. in these trailers as possible to get people to see the film, that there's going to be nothing left when we actually see it.
Yeah.
Which stinks. I liked Genki and well, it's not Genki, but whatever, it's Genki.
Right. Yeah.
in the Spider-Man outfit, like that was cool. Little cool things like that. But I would have loved to wait to see that in the theater. Like, what are they thinking?
Yeah.
I
don't know. Yeah, like I it doesn't diminish my excitement for it. Just little disappointed.
Right, and so it has like the opposite. No, I don't mean the opposite, but there were things I did like about it, though. I liked that it got me excited for the film. I liked how they put the trailer together. I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of negative things about their trailers. Like, remember the one before where it had the music and it almost felt like a kind of like an indie film vibe or whatever?
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I like how these trailers have been weird. But yeah, man, I don't know. Not really much to say about it. When does that movie come out?
July,
Okay.
7th, 11th? Pick a Friday.
Oh, okay. So in July. That's cool.
July something.
Got a few more. Does Thor come out before it?
Yes? No? Yes. Yes, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think it's yes. I think is Thor in May? Something's in May.
Yeah, let me pull it up, see if I can find it. But
yeah, there's got to be something in May. There's always something. There's always a Marvel film in May.
We got why is this being dumb? Right, sorry, hold on.
Nope, we know you're trying to find something important for the show you're currently recording, so we're gonna take our time.
Right. Guardians is May. Wonder Woman is June.
Yeah.
2nd. Spider-Man Homecoming is July 7th. Ragnarok is November 3rd.
That's right. Okay.
Yep. And Justice League is the 17th. And then we'll get, of course, Star Wars in December, and then early 2018 Deadpool, then Black Panther, then Avengers: Infinity War, and then an untitled X-Men film for 2018. Ant-Man and the Wasp in July 2018. Venom in October 2018, and then Aquaman December. So like it's gonna be a packed, and then animated Spider-Man film December 2018, December 21st, because they want to go up against Star Wars for some reason.
Well, I think that one is supposed to be like a video, like the one that they're doing with Ultimate Spider-Man, like something like that.
Okay. Man, there's just so much.
Yeah.
It's packed, but that's cool, man. We're living, I think, at the height of comic book movies. Hopefully they get like some video game movies pumped out soon too.
Well, we gotta, I don't think I had it here in the notes, but we did get to see more. We saw some official set photos from Tomb Raider.
Oh yeah, yep. It looks
Yeah.
like a Tomb Raider movie.
Yeah, like it's, we saw the leaked photos and it was like, oh, okay, this is that, but, with the Entertainment Weekly logo on them pretty much.
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
like this one,
They
I know we say it about every video game film, but it's like, this could be the one. Like,
Yeah, it could. I liked the first Tomb Raider movie. I didn't really watch most of the second one, but
yeah, you're better off.
yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Um, the Sony's working on a action sci-fi horror rated R Venom film, a Black Cat Silver Sable film as well. So like both of them together.
Yeah.
Written by Chris Yost from Thor Ragnarok. Um, neither, and this is what's strange, neither are connected to the MCU.
Here's the thing. There was something I read today. There was talk that after the second Spider-Man movie, that they're done with the MCU.
Well, that yes, they're supposed to come back to the table
Right.
and that's when they can break away.
So I
Which
wonder if they're trying to build their own universe, if they're trying to strike while the iron's hot. They've got all this stuff that they have that they can use, that they were like, okay, these are great ideas, and then ASM2 tanked and everybody went, oh, well, we can't do them, and now there's hype for these movies again, so they're trying to roll off of this goodwill, like, hey, we can build our own, Spider-Man cinematic universe over here real fast. And you know,
no, that's not how I read it at all.
Really,
I read it as they don't understand.
that's
They don't understand why people got excited when they announced that Marvel and or Disney and Sony were gonna work together. Now I know
yeah,
it's so unheard of. This is so unheard of for another studio to produce another studio's film where these characters interact. I was reading an article that said like this may never happen again.
yeah,
So we're lucky that we're getting it, but you know, the way Spider-Man was brought in to the MCU was nothing more than perfect. Um, you know, he in the few minutes we saw him, he embodied Peter Parker, and I think a lot of that had to do with the creative focus that Marvel had. And they're producing this film; they have a lot of creative control. I think what's happening here is Sony just they're starting another Marvel universe that is not connected to the Spider-Man in these films, and I think it is the biggest fuck up. The way I described it to somebody, I was like, it's like if you're an alcoholic and you hit rock bottom, and then suddenly you go to AA and you get help, and everything's going great. You got a new job, you got a new car, and then you decide to drink a bottle of Jack Daniels and drive through a school because you just can't get your shit together. That's what this is to me with Sony. It's like you're finally got some goodwill. You finally got people that are excited for your film again. We're now connected to the universe, and the first chance you're going to get before the movie's even put out, you're now confusing the fuck out of your audience, and
yeah,
that pisses me off because people like us, we sort of understand what that means, but every week we're talking about it. The regular Joe Schmo off the street is going to go, well, they're connected now, right? I was told they're connected. What's going on?
right,
Why is Spider-Man not in the Venom film? Why is this nowhere connected to it? They're not even mentioning Tony Stark. And it seems like the biggest misstep they could do. What I would do if I were them, I totally understand making a standalone film that is its own thing. It doesn't have Tony Stark and it doesn't have any of that other stuff in it. But don't go out of your way to make it a separate universe with separate characters, separate president, separate Mary Jane, separate Aunt. Totally, it makes no sense.
yeah,
Because then you're just going to confuse the shit out of people because they're going to go, wait a second, Venom is Spider-Man. Why is this not the same Spider-Man?
exactly.
Is Spider-Man even in this second universe they're making?
I don't
Or are
know.
they waiting? Are they
I
holding off on Spider-Man in these spin-off films of Spider-Man? It's just
I would like to think that Sony has learned something. I'm afraid I'm with you because I think that was the I was kind of, I think, coming around to the same conclusion, was
it,
like they haven't they've totally missed, they've misjudged what's happened here.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
totally
They totally have.
yeah, they're just like, oh, this is a way for us to salvage those projects and do this thing because people are like, oh, hey, you guys can make a cool Spider-Man movie. What else do you have? And they're missing the point of what you were exactly just talking about, and
It's
it
a
makes you
total
crazy.
turnoff.
Yeah, it's just
It's a total turnoff.
it's so wrong. It's just so wrong.
Yeah, we want to see these characters interacting with each other. We want to see them have fun together. It doesn't have to be every film, but it's kind of like if the WWE was like, "Hey, we're gonna do a new Thursday night show, and we're gonna put Kevin Owens on it, and we're gonna put big cast but not Enzo, and we're going to put I don't know Charlotte on it, but that's it, and they're never gonna interact with anyone else again."
Right. It's like
Get excited, people. It's like, what?
yeah,
Why would you do that? You
yeah.
just did good by, I know it's a dumb analogy, but um, I I don't like I don't like hearing that, and they better clear that up soon because to me it sounds like they're done. After the second Spider-Man film, what is he gonna do? Get sucked into a different universe? Like, how is that gonna work?
I don't know, man. Although
Like,
there's a counter argument to your example there, which is NXT. NXT is its own universe. It doesn't.
no,
It's
that's not true at all because Kevin Owens walked right into Raw and challenged John
right,
Cena while he
right,
was the
but
champion.
right, but they don't go back
Yeah, he
usually.
went back. He went back and wrestled in NXT.
Yeah, it's true, I guess.
I don't know, but we're getting into the weeds. But you clearly know what I mean.
Right. Bottom line is this is a bad idea.
It's totally a bad idea. It's ridiculous. You finally got your shit together. I'll tell you what. If they reboot it again,
I'm so
I
done.
couldn't be less. I couldn't be less. I wouldn't. At that point, I think I'd be kind of done with Spider-Man. As much as I know you wouldn't, because you absolutely love him.
Yeah, but I would still.
But
I would just be. I would hate going to see them. Like I would.
yeah,
I would actually dread. Like, oh, I have to go see this movie.
right.
Like I'd
Like
hate. I'd hate it.
Yeah, we had it all, and then like it. I'm telling you, it's like they shit the pants.
Yeah.
It's like you had everything, and then you just, like I said, you just drove into a school. Like, what are you doing? But all right. So anyway, got some Star Wars news. Back to some better news. It's still excited for the stuff, but back to some better news. We got Hanzo reportedly to cover the character between the ages of 18 to 24, so it's going to jump in time just a little bit in the movie, which is going to be odd. I wonder if they mean like throughout, if they're going to do Han Solo 1, 2, and 3.
I don't think
Any
so.
ages.
I think it's gonna be kind of, excuse me, sorry about that. I think it's gonna be more of like, oh, and here was an important thing that happened at this point in his life, and then quick montage of a few years to this
It's
next
kind of
point.
odd.
Yeah.
What is it going to be, like Benjamin Button or Forrest Gump or something?
Well,
Like,
I mean, think about, I think of The Lion King. It did that well enough.
okay, I mean, I guess I can see that, like a montage of him walking across, say, a log.
Right.
But yeah, one of the cool things that came from this news was apparently it's going to deal with how he got Chewbacca, the Millennium Falcon, and his name.
Yeah, his name is not originally Han Solo, which,
So that's really cool.
yeah, that's curious indeed.
Oh yeah, Woody Harrelson officially has a name, and as his mentor, his name is Beckett.
Yeah, and from what I understand,
Oh,
that's not an established character.
so that's cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's ever been mentioned. Han
Yeah.
Solo's.
Well, but
I
I mean,
never read any of his like young Han Solo. I don't know if there's been a young Han Solo books or anything like that, but
there,
I've never read any.
yeah, there probably has for the EU, but I think from what I was reading, even in that stuff, like it's not. They didn't just grab somebody like, oh, we like this idea.
That's perfect.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this is a new character, supposedly. So cool, I'm down.
And that's good for an actor like Woody Harrelson, because I would, if it was someone that I knew, I would be like way too distracted that it was Woody Harrelson.
Right.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm excited for it. I think that's really cool that they're like, here's a mystery. I kind of wish they never gave that news. how he got his name. We didn't need to know that, but it's definitely got me interested. This is a really dumb question, but how do they judge age when they like? What are their years like in Star Wars?
Because they have standard. They go by a standard calendar.
But I imagine like what Coruscant year?
I think so. Yeah, I think it's established by their time.
Because it's they've never been to Earth, so it's not like an Earth year.
Yeah.
So
no,
I always wondered that.
Yeah, I think it's established through it's like everything runs by Coruscant time and whatnot.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
It's funny. I was thinking about that a little while ago. I don't know why but I think I did it like in terms of Star Trek. I was like, how in the hell? Oh yeah, that's probably still Earth.
Yeah. Star Trek is still Earth, probably.
Yeah.
But it's all relative.
Right.
We got some Deadpool news. Michael Shannon, rumored to be frontrunner for Cable.
Yeah, maybe he'll bring the flippers. Who knows?
I love that idea.
Yeah.
I love the idea. The jokes you could make at DC.
Oh sure,
Superman.
could you imagine just all the fun they would have?
Oh yeah. No, it would be a blast. Like even his stuff that he did with Boardwalk Empire, like, they could go in so many directions.
Yeah, or from if they really wanted to go deep, bring up he was in 8 Mile. Bring that up.
8 Mile, yeah.
Didn't you bang Eminem's mom?
Yeah, exactly. Like, and he's always angry, he's always yelling, and it would be the perfect Cable. I love that idea. If they actually do that, I'll be happy.
Yeah. That would be fun because the jokes would be great.
Oh yeah. Did you see Jumanji? I guess footage was screened at CinemaCon, and it revealed that Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle will feature enhanced video game instead of a board game.
Yeah, okay, fine. Like I saw about this. It's like it's a '90s video game instead of a board game, and I'm like, oh, okay, fine, whatever. I get it. Like,
yeah, like I'm mad they'll get sucked into the Nintendo 64 or whatever. I just, it's interesting because it changes the dynamic. It now makes sense when they were what's the actress's name? The main female in the movie.
Karen. She played Nebula. She was Amy Pond. I can't remember her name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look it up while I say this. But Karen, it makes sense because she got a lot of heat. When they were shooting this, they were like, "Why does everyone look like they're ready for the jungle, but she's in a skirt and a hyped up, a shirt, And they were like, "It makes sense. Like you just have to trust us. Wait till, everything is said, and it will make a lot of sense." And it does, because a '90s video game would look like her, Tomb Raider, '90s Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Karen Gillan. That's it.
Gillan, yeah. So they're kids in these avatars, so it's like a kid in the Rock's body, like Big.
Oh boy.
Did you get that? Okay. We'll talk about that when we get back.
Yeah.
Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. And when we left, we were talking about the new Jumanji movie. And yeah, apparently, like, those characters are avatars of the kids who get sucked into the video game. So there's, I don't know, I'm like probably like a 14-year-old boy in the Rock's body, or who knows? They're all avatars of kids.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No, I hadn't seen that.
It might be a girl in Kevin Hart's body. But who knows? Like, that's kind of fun. That would be cool. It'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't break the movie for me that it's a video game. Sure. We have a really good Jumanji movie in the '90s that if you ever want to go looking back, it's great, and it's got the board game. It feels cool. So I'm interested in seeing this. They're changing it up a little bit, but we'll see.
It is a reboot. It's a whole new thing. They're not trying to copy the original. They're saying, no, we want to take this idea and do it, and we want to update it. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Like I know there's still gonna be people upset over her outfit, but
It makes sense though.
Yeah. And it's like, does that make it okay? I'm like, well, this is a reflection. I think you have to look at it more as this is a reflection of what the culture was. If you want to use this as a teachable moment or as a bitching moment, that's your call.
Right. Yeah. I think there are way bigger things to fry.
Right.
Than
like
that.
Yeah. Like the fact that Kevin Hart is so goddamn short.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And so funny. Oh my god, man! Have you seen? Have you seen at least the first Chappelle's specials?
Oh, I've seen both of them. They're
Oh,
fantastic.
I haven't seen the second one yet, but his first one, the bit that he does on Kevin Hart is hysterical.
Did you see people were getting after him about his jokes?
For what?
Well, he makes a lot of jokes about gay people, and he goes after a few different people, but it's all in comedy. Like, I don't understand the concept of you're going to a Chappelle stand-up show. What did you expect?
Right.
He's not mean or anything about it. It's all done in comedy.
Right.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I think, it's not like he made a Twitter comment or something taken out of context, or, it's all just stand-up nonsense.
It's,
so
I mean, you know me. I'm in the camp of let's try not to actively offend people, but I do think some people just look for trouble. I do.
Right.
And it makes me nuts, because then we can't, and especially with cell phone cameras and everything, you can't. I forget who I heard. I forget what stand-up comedian I heard talking about this. The idea that workshopping material is harder now, because you try to do something and it's kind of like being in a writer's room, where the point is you go way out there and you go too far. And you do it on purpose, because okay, there's the line, and then you come back. I would imagine for stand-up comics who actively are like, all right, how far is too far? Oh, I've lost the crowd. Well, now I know the next show I can't go that far. Like,
oh yeah, like he talks about rape and Bill Cosby and all this other stuff, and it's all done because he's a stand-up comedian.
Right. And it's not just like, hey, isn't this funny? It's like, hey, isn't this funny in a way that you have to think about it? It's also, that's the thing that's why it works, is because it's smart.
Right. And then, if you want to be offended, just turn on, the news.
Right.
And just listen to politicians, because that is a million times more damaging than, actual laws being passed, than a comedian on a late night special. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's like, have you ever seen the Chappelle Show? One of his first bits was he was a blind black man in the KKK. Like, you that's what you signed up for when you turned on the special. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, did you know which? Like, I don't understand anybody who watches old Eddie Murphy stand up and gets mad. I'm like, what exactly. In the hell did you think was gonna happen? Like,
yeah, George Carlson, all of them. It's ridiculous. But go watch the Chappelle Show if you guys haven't seen it, or the Chappelle specials. I mean, on Netflix.
Watch that first one, and I loved how he bow tied it at the end. I was like, that's what I mean. It's like, it's smart. Yeah, it's something you kind of cringe at the same time as you laugh and you think. Like, that's what made Chappelle so great, and that's why he continues to be great, is because his material. He can tie it all together in a way that you're still gonna laugh, you're gonna feel a little dirty, but it's gonna make you think. And that's part of a great stand-up, is not just, here are some jokes. You have some like that, but most of the greatest are ones that challenge you at least a little bit on a cerebral level.
Exactly. If he was being offensive to be mean and mean-spirited, I don't think he would be as popular as he is.
Right.
I think there's a huge difference between something he does and someone who legitimately is doing it to be mean, or just spiteful or something, like doing it.
Right.
He's not a bully in any way when he does it. He just talks like, it's just funny.
Yeah.
But. Yeah. So anyway, where were we? We got some. We got some Predator news. Edward James Olmos joins the cast. as a vague military role, so we don't really know what he's doing.
Yeah, they're like, he's gonna be a military person. Okay, cool. What else?
Okay.
That's it. All right, what the hell? Why not?
Okay. Yeah. Escape from New York, Robert Rodriguez to direct the remake.
Sure. Like
That's cool.
not a bad choice. I'm all right with that.
Did you see the trailer for the Netflix Death Note movie?
I did.
Live action?
I did. What did you think?
I thought it looked great. I've only seen like an episode or two of Death Note. Got to get back to it.
Yeah.
But it looked like Death Note from what I saw of
Yeah.
Death Note.
That'll be good.
Yeah, looks cool. Who's the actor playing the creature thing?
It's Willem Dafoe, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Which is perfect casting. It's just spot on freaking perfect.
He's gonna be great.
Yeah.
So I hope this is good. I mean, if this to me looks like it could be, because it's rare to get an anime movie and anime to live action that's done well.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I think Netflix might be the kind of best place to do this because it's not taking the risk of going, and releasing it in theaters.
Yeah.
I think you could find a home on Netflix where, the budget's a little bit lower and the expectations are a little bit lower, and word of mouth, you can get more people watching this than you can paying to go see it.
Sure, absolutely. People are going to kill 2 hours on Netflix anyway. Why not say, hey, look, give this a try? Oh, well, all right.
Yeah, and if it's good, we'll get more. So that's great. Maybe even a TV show. Who knows? But speaking of, we got some Godzilla, the anime Netflix film titled Godzilla Monster Planet. I saw like a still, but that was it.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the whole, I don't know, the synopsis, because the synopsis that I read, I think had gone through like bad Google Translate. So it was weird. It was like oh, hey, at the turn of the millennium, we were attacked by kaiju, and so like some of humanity left Earth, and then they came back a while later, and more time had passed than they thought, or something. So it wasn't like a generation later; it was like 20,000 years later, or something.
Oh wow!
That was what I read, and I was like, something about this doesn't.
Oh, that's cool.
Like something here doesn't quite add up. Either that, or this is an amazing prospect.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's awesome.
But
definitely in for that.
So I don't know. It might have been translated wrong. It might have been typed up wrong. I don't know. But because I don't know, it just kind of stuck out to me. But
Netflix has been one of the best things to I don't know if you want to say invest in, but I never mind that I pay for Netflix every month. It's when someone tells me, I totally understand if you can't afford it, and times are tough and you got to pinch pennies and you can't afford Netflix. I've been there a million times, but it is one of those things now where I don't even think about it. I keep it there because there's so much awesome content on it. I never feel, I honestly think Netflix is one of the things that have kept pirates at bay. I know that's to lack of a better, but it's kept the pirates. It's honestly, I think Netflix, HBO Go, these type of services, and I've seen the numbers, the drastic numbers when HBO Go was brought out compared to when it wasn't. The numbers of piracy went way down.
Well, sure.
It's still the most pirated thing on the planet, of course, Game of Thrones, but the numbers went way down because I think more people would rather pay for services like Netflix and HBO Go, knowing they're not going to give their computer aids.
Right, and it's simpler. It's just so much easier, and you can take it with you everywhere, and it is so much less of a hassle. Like platform,
and that's
yeah.
Oh no, I was going to say, and that's why I wanted to bring up this next thing. I don't want to talk too much about it because it's shitty, but I want to offer a silver lining.
Okay.
Adam Sandler signs 4-movie deal extension to his deal with streaming services due to The Ridiculous Six and The Do-Over, reportedly being the service's biggest original film release. And as much as me and you do not like those films, we're not looking forward to what he does because he's terrible. But the silver lining is that it is going to give Netflix probably enough money to make other things. If people are really going in droves to watching these things, I hope that gives them more money and more things to do other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough. If
I hope that
yeah, I mean,
if you think about it, Netflix is more about original series, not about original movies. I can't think of, you know, you know, I know their original movie wasn't what was that one with what's his name?
you're looking for a
Uh,
Beast of No Nation.
right, they didn't. That's not their film. They just
They bought the
brought
rights, yeah. But they're
okay.
starting to be a studio, though. I mean, they've got what's the one with Will Smith coming out?
Yes, Bright.
Yeah, like
Perfect.
that's their
That's my
film.
example.
Yeah,
Yes. So I imagine, when Bright's released and whatnot, that's gonna get big numbers. But Adam Sandler was one of the first to do like a Netflix original movie. So that's fine. There's not really much up to put up to it though. You know what I mean? There's no other Netflix original movies that stand out to me. So, hopefully this means that because people are watching them as much as they are, this gives Netflix more money and more money to make more movies.
yeah.
So,
Like, I mean, at
yeah.
the end of the day, as much as I think this is yet another sign of the coming apocalypse, if I mean, really, let's be honest. All that this means, if you're like us and you hate new Adam Sandler stuff, or if you're like me, I can't stand new Adam Sandler. But what is this? What does this really mean? It means there's an extra movie tile in a list. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's all the quote unquote inconvenience that it is. It's
Right.
not that big, and you just go, nope, don't want to see that, and you move on. In
And
less than that time, like that's it. It's
right.
not that big a deal.
Yeah, no, no. And if it helps Netflix, then that's good. It helps us overall. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's just something there we'll never watch, and that's fine. It's got a place for people that apparently like it. And, okay, good for them.
Well,
We got Barbie. Apparently, Amy Schumer leaves the live action Barbie film.
I mean,
Okay.
just the phrase live action Barbie film sounds stupid anyway. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, if you're gonna, why? Just why?
Isn't she too big for that anyway? I don't know.
Well, but I mean, there's the idea of like, why does Barbie have to look like Barbie, and so on and so on. But I mean, my thing in general is like, just why? I mean, there's,
Oh no, no, no. I meant like she's too big of a star.
oh,
I think you misunderstood me.
I think I did, yeah, I
Yeah, no, no,
really
no.
did.
I mean, like, I think she's too big. Like, I didn't think she would do a movie like Barbie.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, can you look at a handful of films that uh, I can't think of a good example of like, hey, here's somebody who was well known that did a film that
I mean, The
seemed
Rock did G.I. Joe, I guess, but
well, but even still, like it was action movie that was in his wheelhouse, you know.
didn't it? Oh, okay, Liam. Um, who did Battleship?
Liam Neeson, yeah, there we go. All
Liam
right,
Neeson.
I'll take
That's what I
that.
was thinking of.
Yeah,
Yeah. So you're right. You're right. Yeah, he's huge, of course, and he did a board game movie,
yeah.
so
Well, and I
that
mean,
makes
look,
sense.
I mean it, I hate say do a shot because I'm going to say this. The business of the film business is business. So at the end of the
Right.
day, they're like, hey, here's a job opportunity. You're gonna take it.
Right. Right. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Let's get into some TV news here. We got some Assassin's Creed news. Ubisoft working on developing a TV show based on the game franchise, according to head content. How do you pronounce this guy's
Uh,
name?
Amar Azazia, I think.
There we go. Um, you know what? Assassin's Creed, I think, would make a much better TV show than a movie series.
I could not agree more. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's weird, dude. Like, if you would have asked Adam 10 years ago, I can't believe I'm speaking in third person, but I would have always said I'd prefer the movie than the television show. But now, dude, there's the storytelling. I hate going back to this, but with Netflix, the storytelling you could do in that format is, to me, we are in the golden age of television. We are in an age where you can actually tell a really good story, and not have to condense it into 2 hours, and hopefully it makes enough money. Like, it's we're now starting to blend that line of quality as well, like Game of Thrones and
Yeah.
Westworld. where you're looking at it, it looks like a film. It looks like it was shot and everything else like a film, but we're getting 10 episodes. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, and
Imagine if they couldn't do Westworld the way it is in HBO in a movie.
no, they couldn't.
It would be like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So,
Even though they tried that before.
and that makes me think, how awesome would a Jurassic Park movie be? I would love to see a series set in a person left on that island or have to survive, like Lost or something.
Yeah.
Like that storytelling would be so much better, but
Yeah, well.
that's a lot of CGI and stuff. So.
Yeah. Well, and remember, Yves Guillemot said in, what was it, an investor call or something not that long ago, that Ubisoft and Netflix were working on something.
Yeah.
So
that could be
this might be the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I would love that, or like a Far Cry or something. It'd be dope.
Yeah, that would be so much better than the movie. Remember there was a Far Cry movie? Remember that? Remember when Uwe Boll made films?
We won't talk about that.
Yeah, I don't want to get punched. I really don't.
I never saw that, but yeah.
It was not one of the worst. Like it wasn't great, but there were worse.
Right.
That's a polite way to put it, I think.
Yeah, I do think so too. Well, when we get back, we're going to talk more about video games, but we are going to take a quick break. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we will see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we were getting in some video game news. Okay, so this news coming up, I thought was awesome. I saw the.
Well, hang on, we skipped a little TV news.
Oh, we did? Why am I in video games?
Because we had been talking about Assassin's Creed, so.
That's why. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So, Fear the Walking Dead, the showrunner Dave Eckerson, leaving the show after season 3, will develop new projects for AMC.
Yeah, he's moving on. So, okay.
Well, at least, I mean, that sounds like a good way of moving on if you're going to continue work with the network.
Right.
It'll give someone else a chance to get in there and shake things up.
And he's still going to hang on as an executive producer, which, is one of those kind of nebulous credits of like, is it somebody that does a lot? Is it an emeritus title? It could mean literally anything.
Yeah, it could mean a lot. It could mean nothing at all. You're absolutely right.
But,
be honest, I haven't seen season 2. I got to watch that.
No, I haven't either.
Yeah. I like the idea of them somewhere else on another side of the world or planet, or other side, maybe the country. I guess they still are. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I have not liked this season of The Walking Dead. Are you caught up at all?
No, I haven't started back up yet.
It's drawing way too out. I hate to say this, but I can't wait till they get to the end of the Negan war. I want that to happen. It's just I'm tired of seeing these characters just beaten down. It's like we've seen this a million times.
Yeah.
And so I know what's going to happen in the comic. I know what happens in the comics, and I just can't wait for them to get to that point. Till we can move on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it works well with television.
Right. There's, it's called filler for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can do that in comics because there are times where you can take a page to do this incredible visual thing, and you're only dealing with, 20 some pages. So that's going to take some time, but you can't make every page in a comic book last a minute on screen.
Exactly, and that's the thing. You sit down with the comic book and you're done, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, however fast you want to read it,
right?
However much you want to sit there and absorb every page, the art and everything else. But it's done way faster, I think, than an hour-long television show. So, and at the same time, if you're a comic book reader, you're probably on that Wednesday, you're getting 5 or 6 more comics. So, if it's a dud for that week, it's no big deal. This is just like, come on, like let's get the ball rolling here, because I like the characters, I'm invested in the characters, but it's like let's switch, like let's do something a little bit different. So yeah, and I imagine by the end of because I think there's only a few episodes left before the break until October or whatever.
Yeah, end of the season. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine we probably will get close to the war. I imagine they're going to start fighting back and whatnot. It's just taking so long. So yeah, so I don't know. You know what show I did get back into though?
What?
Into the Badlands.
Oh yeah, nice.
If you want, you know, good kung fu, and you know what, I shouldn't say kung fu because I don't know. I'm a dum dum when it comes to martial arts, so I don't know. I obviously know there's a huge difference between the fighting styles. I think kung fu is what's in Iron Fist, or what they attempt to do. So maybe let me rephrase it. If you want good fighting in your TV show, I would probably skip Iron Fist and watch Into the Badlands because it actually has really good martial arts.
Nice.
Yeah. Unlike Iron Fist, which I don't know if we'll get to this episode, but Iron Fist, I read an article. The guy who plays Danny Rand learned about his fight scene on set right
No,
before they were going to shoot it.
no, damn it, no, you can't do that.
I gotta say, man, what the critics have been
Ugh.
saying about Iron Fist, it's sadly true. It really is. I think they went a little bit too hard on it. I'm gonna finish it, of course, because it's a Marvel
Right.
Netflix show that it bleeds into everything else, but it's becoming a chore. They focus. I guess we can talk about it right now, but I won't spoil a thing. But they do focus way too much on um, these two, but this brother and sister, which were his friends growing up, which now own a company when he gets back. Everything is predictable. It is all laid out, and you're like, well, of course these people did this and those people did that, and this is how it's gonna. It's so predictable. But my biggest issue is there's no fighting, and now it makes sense. Now it makes sense why it's so rare. But that should not be rare in an Iron Fist television show. It should be chocked full of fighting, like Daredevil was, um, and even more so. I mean, Danny Rand should be a better fighter than Daredevil. He should be the best fighter of all of them.
Right.
So hopefully, I haven't seen all of it yet. So who knows? Maybe it's nothing but kung fu for the next, however many episodes. But it's nothing but corporate drama
Ugh.
and characters that I could give two shits about, including Danny Rand. He's the most unlikable of all of the Netflix Marvel characters. It's a real shame. It really is. It makes me wonder if maybe they should have combined Luke Cage and Iron Fist together. Because weren't they, in the comics? What did they call? I know they're always together in the comics, but they called them
Heroes for Hire.
that should have been the name of their show, Heroes for Hire, and we saw all about how them two, bromance blossomed, and that would have been such a awesome concept. Um, but it's just this. I couldn't care less about Danny Rand, his family, these people. There's almost zero kung fu, and he keeps saying kung fu in the show, so I think I'm saying the right martial arts that he's learning, but it is ridiculous. But Into the Badlands is a complete opposite. It's a little bit harder for the story building with or the world building with Into the Badlands, but once you get into it, and all the fight scenes are just top notch fight scenes for a
Nice.
television show.
Nice.
Plus, it has Nick Frost in the second season.
Oh, really?
It has Nick Frost into the Badlands as like a fighter, like a brawler. So if that sounds interesting to you, absolutely go check it out. I think the first episode was either this week or last week. So, and the first season's only like 6 episodes, so it's
Yeah.
not like
it's
not
on
a chore to get through.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix too.
I believe it's on Netflix, yeah, and then AMC you can watch if you have AMC on demand or any of that kind of stuff. You can, or if you don't have it, you can get it on iTunes or whatever. But yeah, it's really good. And
Nice.
so yeah, so go check out Into the Badlands. We got True Detective. David Mitch, NYPD Blue, Deadwood, reportedly coming to work on previous Thought Dead third season. So, yeah, I mean, the second season really bombed, right?
That's what I heard. Like, I just finished the first season like a month ago, and it was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I was so with everybody else, and then they were like, "Yeah, but the second season, it sucked." And I was like, "Okay, then I'm just gonna stop at one. Like, I'm not even gonna go into the second one."
Yeah, it's terrible. The second season, it's like, okay, I kind of see what they're doing, but at no place does it ever ramp up like it does True Detective. True Detective, it is an extremely slow series, but at the same time, you see where it's going,
Yeah.
and it ramps up big time, and you're invested in the characters, and it's I love the concept of just like we're going to tell different true detective stories in different cities, different time periods, and it's really cool. Like what they did with the first season was top notch stuff, and then yeah, so I love the concept. So hopefully with the third season we'll go somewhere new with new actors and a new story, and hopefully they'll have some time to work on what they're going to do. I think maybe they pumped out the second season because the first one did so well. They were like, well, we got to get another one out there immediately, and they rushed it.
Yeah, I think HBO fell into the trap that they've actually been pretty good at avoiding.
Yeah, I mean, even with
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, we're getting a break
Yeah. It's
because they're
not.
like, we need time to write this second, the last two episodes or last two seasons,
Yeah.
which makes sense to write, shoot, and everything else. So makes
Yeah.
sense. It'll be there. Hopefully I'll still be alive, and everyone will be alive to see it by then. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so I think that will do it for TV news. There hasn't really been there's something in the back of my head, but I don't know. We'll get to it next week if I remember it. But let's see here. We got some. Oh yeah, we talked about this earlier. The Destiny 2 trailer. The teaser trailer teases for the full trailer on March 30th. Leaked posters show September 8th release date. So did you see this trailer?
I did. Oh, it was awesome. Like I love Cade 6. It's fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Uh, I loved it. I thought it was cool. Honestly, I watched that trailer and I was like, all right, I'm playing Destiny today. And my group of friends were like all excited that we have all this cool new stuff to do, and it seems like a chore a little bit, but it's been real fun. So Nathan Fillion does the voice for Cade, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was really cool. I saw a picture someone sent me. And that robot that's always sweeping?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a picture of the robot, and he was like, uh, it doesn't come off well over air, but he's like, after 3 years, I finally finished cleaning. I hope the Vanguard is pleased with my work. And then he looks out the window and everything's destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was great. Yeah, man,
uh,
I can't. Real fast. What are some things you would want them to change in the Destiny game too?
uh, I want more. I want different environments. I
Yes.
want I want a little wider gun type. Like I think
Hmm.
I like what we have is good, but I think you could add one or two more.
Yes.
Um, I want a little more variation in objectives. Like I'm really tired
Yes.
of go here, kill the things, and sometimes
Come back.
pick up a thing. Like
Right, and in every 6 months, there's a new currency that you got to collect to feed into something else. I don't like that. One of my biggest things is I don't want it to be here is a hub. Here's a hub. Go collect quests. What do they call it? The station? What do they call it?
um yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I don't like that. I
Yeah,
want when you go to Earth, you get a whole bunch of new quests. You do the quests on Earth. You do all that stuff like Mass Effect almost, and then you go to the next planet.
yeah,
And you go to characters. I want it to look like an RPG almost, where you're talking to characters, you're interacting with them, shit goes down, and either they're there or they're not, or things change. I don't like this hub world. And I know that quest hubs and stuff like that exist in MMOs and everything else, but I want it more like that. In the World of Warcraft, they're not all in the castle. You know what I mean? You go from location to village, place to place, talk to characters, interact with them, to do stories. It makes the game more engaging. Where this just feels like you're running up to NPCs to get a quest. It might as well be a robot, and then you're porting back out, and then it's a million years to get to your destination.
yeah,
Yeah. So anyway, I hope they fix that.
yeah. I would take
Uh,
I would be happy with more secrets. Give me more secrets.
oh yeah. I mean, just like that's what gets me going is they will drop something in the game and no one knows what it's for, what it's they'll drop quests and missions and you're like, you got to go to this person today? Okay, well, you know, I loved getting those text messages or in the group chat where my friends are just like, guys, there's someone here and it's a new quest line and it was never announced, but you know, the Reddit forum is going crazy and they just implemented it in the game. That kind of live game stuff thrills me to no end because it's the only way you can do those, schoolyard stories
Yeah.
in modern day video games. So I am thrilled. Go ahead and take this games for gold for April release.
Yeah, we got to. Well, hang on. We got one piece of news in between there, don't we?
You know what? It's kind of funny because that's what I jumped to earlier before. Yes. Okay. So, I was looking at this box art that was leaked. Or I think it was earlier this week. Maybe it was last week, right after we talked. But it looked like Saving Private Ryan steelbook cases, but in fact it was Call of Duty World War II.
Yes.
And yes, that's
Back
what
to-
everybody's been clamming for.
Yeah. Back to the good old days.
Yes, a modern day World War II shooter. Imagine the type of storytelling you could do in the modern, with modern PCs, PlayStations, and Xboxes. The battles you could recreate.
Oh yeah.
And I think this is, they got a lot of heat for Infinity War, which I actually really enjoyed the single player for that. I don't understand the backlash for that game. I guess it wasn't the best multiplayer, and people did not like the future stuff. But I think if it didn't have the Call of Duty name, if it was just called like, here's a fun space shooter,
right? Like,
it would have never got the heat it did.
Right, Space War 2049. Like people would have said, "Oh, this was kind of cool." Like,
oh yeah, if it was a completely different studio that did this. Imagine if it just had a completely different title and they were like, we have nothing to do with Call of Duty. Here is, Space War. Oh my God, people would have loved it because it's so much fun. I highly recommend it. If you ever if it's still in the red boxes or anything like that, play through the single player campaign and you'll have a blast. So man, I can't imagine a World War II game in this day and age. It's gonna be so cool, I think.
I agree. I think this is the right call for sure.
Yeah, the right call.
Oh God, yes, I did that, didn't I? Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this is right. I think it's them going, hey, we hear you loud and clear, and we're gonna make things right. So, I thought that was cool. So what are some of the Xbox game for gold in April?
For April, from the first for the whole month, Rise: Son of Rome is free. From April 16th to May 15th, you get The Walking Dead Season 2. And the backwards compatible games, the 1st through the 15th, Darksiders, and then the 16th through the 30th, Assassin's Creed Revelations.
These are some really good games, right?
That's a good list. I really like that list. That's definitely a solid list for sure.
Yeah, and if you've had gold for a while now, you've had Walking Dead Season 1, so here's Season 2. Like, might not even need to buy Telltale games ever again.
Yeah, just give it time. They all come up free on either service for a while.
Right, they're either free or they're like $7. You know,
and
for the whole season.
Yeah, and here's what I hate about doing our show when we do it. Like an hour after we go off the air, the PS Plus games for April list is going to go live.
Right, exactly. Which we know one of them, right?
Yeah, Drawn to Death.
Yeah. So that'd be really cool. But we will be right back. We're coming up against a break, though. When we get back, we will talk about Blizzard's cool new game they're releasing, and we'll get into some Power Rangers and WrestleMania predictions. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you guys all in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and real fast, I thought this was some cool news, some video game news. Blizzard is releasing StarCraft. It's a new version called StarCraft Remastered, coming to Mac and PC this summer. And essentially, it is just StarCraft 2, but it's going to have some cool new modes, and it's going to have some cool new levels. But it's going to have the original game intact, how you remember it, and the multiplayer intact with the modes that you liked, and apparently even more different new modes. So, did you ever play StarCraft as a kid?
I briefly.
Same here. I
Yeah.
played way more Warcraft 1 and 2. Um, Man, Warcraft, those Warcraft games, the cheat code, glittering prizes, and
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I was way more into Warcraft and stuff like that. But StarCraft is huge, still is today. So that's awesome.
Nice.
Hope they do the same thing with Warcraft. It is weird they're announcing it right now and not at BlizzCon, but I guess BlizzCon's going to be after. So
Yeah.
usually they wait
Yeah.
and hold everything till BlizzCon. So,
Yeah.
but
Don't know.
hopefully this is where they can go, hey, the next one is Warcraft 1, 2, and 3 remastered,
Right? Wouldn't that be
and
something?
put out as a release. Yeah, that'd be dope. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Real quick before we get into the review section, the rumored PS Plus free games for April, The Order 18, whatever the hell year it was,
Nice.
and Stein's Gate Zero.
Oh, that's really cool.
Those are the rumors I can find. Might be true, might not be true, but we should know. We'll probably know. Like it'll come out like here in like 2 hours. Like
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to play the Order 1886. I just heard that it wasn't worth the money for 8 hours of gameplay, but if it's free, fucking sign me up.
oh hell yeah, in a
Hell
heartbeat.
yeah, absolutely. Um, and this Steins Gate Zero looks like a weird anime sort of game, so hell yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
Man, I can't. Have I told you? I know I've said it a million times. I can't wait for Persona. Oh my god, I cannot wait. Hearing Greg Miller talk about it just thrills me to no end. I can't wait to play that game. Let's get into some news. We'll get into Power Rangers and then WrestleMania. GameStop apparently closing. I think it was like 6% of its store, or came close to like 150 locations worldwide. Some interesting things I found. I was reading some articles. I don't have the numbers in front of me.
Okay.
I believe a lot of the articles said that not enough people are buying video games. But what I found interesting was a lot of these locations they closed were ones that were right on top of each other, which makes more sense.
Sure. Yeah.
Because I think people are buying video games more than ever now.
Yeah, I think part of it is digital. I think they are continuing to feel the crunch from digital. It's not the cataclysm that some people had predicted, but
Right.
I do think they are feeling that. And I also think that they're look, this is what cracks me up about Statesville where I live. We've got one Starbucks and two GameStops. To me, that's backwards. And I don't like Starbucks.
Yep. Right. No, that's what I found and that's what this article was talking about. I think it was Forbes or something that did it. It was like, here's the real issue. There's 3 GameStops in a 5-mile radius.
Yeah.
And it should not happen.
Yeah.
Location. Like, it doesn't make sense that it's in the mall and it is in a shopping center across the street from the mall. You're just killing your business like that.
Yeah.
So, it sucks. 150 stores closed down, and a lot of those people lost their jobs. So, this is terrible for that. So hopefully they all find, new work somewhere else. But, it's kind of just, this is something that I think a lot of people saw coming. And this is happening to Sears. That's the first time I think I played one of my first Nintendo games outside of the home console stuff. That Sears was the place I'd go to play Nintendo 64 and stuff.
Yeah.
Before I got it. So a lot of these stores are shutting down. So it's a shame. I hate talking about it because I hate that people lost their jobs.
Yeah.
But man, it sucks. But
anytime I have to go to the mall around here, it's depressing because there's 8 stores in it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, like there's 2 jewelry stores, a GMC, a Bath and Body Works, there's a Belk, and like a couple wireless accessory stores and an IHOP, and that's pretty much it. It's you walk in there and you would, if you walked in from the one side entrance and looked around, you would be perfectly fine in thinking, oh, somebody just forgot to lock the door when they left forever. Like
Oh
it's
wow,
deserted. Like that whole place is just empty, and
that's a shame.
it
Yeah, I
makes
mean
me
even one of
sad.
the oh man,
Yeah.
even one of the malls here, the Fashion Square Mall, which has been around since forever, is closing down.
Whoa, no way,
Uh,
really?
I'm pretty sure it has. Yeah,
Wow, because it looked like it was doing pretty good when I left.
I think it's in bankruptcy.
Wow, damn. Because they had stores. I mean, they had stores in pretty much every stall.
Yeah, no, no. Believe me, it looks fine. The problem is, it's. I mean, even. I mean, yeah, yeah. Fashion Square Mall files Chapter 11 bankruptcy, in January 2017. Yeah. I mean, it. But the thing is, it's not on par with out. Everyone goes to Altamont or
Yeah,
Millennium
or
Mall. Millennium
Millennia.
Mall is what did it.
Yeah,
But if you live in downtown Orlando, Fashion Square is so much closer than anything else,
yeah.
and that's around the area that I live. So it's oh man, it sucks because I do love that mall. There's even a movie theater in there. There's like
I love
$7 movies.
I love that theater. I went
Yeah,
to that more than I went to the AMC over in Altamont.
yeah, yeah. It's way more affordable. The screen's not as good, the sound's not as good, but you can go there and watch 3 movies for the price of one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you know. Yeah,
largely
so
because they
who
don't
knows?
check.
Someone could buy it out. Someone could. Who knows what will happen?
Yeah.
But it's a shame. Well, we don't have much more time to talk about it. We talked a lot about Power Rangers. What do you want to talk about first? Predictions or Power Rangers?
I mean, Power Rangers, like we kind of covered. You
We
know,
did. Yeah, go
uh,
see it.
go
I
see it.
loved
It's
it.
awesome. Check out, shameless plug. Check out my review. It's on the group page.
Yes, and since I didn't write a review, let me say some real fast things
Go
that I
for
like.
it.
Like I said earlier, the thing that just stuck out the most with me was the characters. This isn't really getting into too spoiler territory, so if you want to be completely spoil free, maybe tune out for the next minute or two. But I loved that they were characters. I loved that they made them more than just two-dimensional teenagers. That Billy was by far my favorite. I love that they said he was autistic. His father is not there. He's passed away, which sets up the whole movie. He didn't really have too many friends, and I love that the mom was just in love that someone was there to hang out with him, and see him and whatnot. And he had so much heart and loyalty, and that's the kid that I drew to immediately. I was like, this is my favorite character out of the whole movie.
Yeah.
The other in Trinity, she I like that. They talked a little bit about her, sexuality, boyfriend, girlfriend, sort of thing. And she moved from school to school. I think there's so many kids that can relate to that, where they've gone to 3 different schools in 10 years or whatever, and being bullied and not being noticed and stuff like that. I love that they all had issues. Um, and even with Kimberly, being popular and then suddenly not because of a sex thing and stuff. That's a real thing that happens this day and age. Like people
Yeah.
lose friendships because of that. And Zach, the star football player, and no, I'm sorry,
Jason.
Jason, star football player, and Zach, fuck man, the shit with what's going on with his family. Like I loved that these are all fleshed out characters.
His moment around the fire where he's all up and then he just gets real o'clock immediately. Like
Yes, and I loved that.
it was great. It was
Oh
great.
yeah.
It really was.
And these actors, I don't recognize a single one of them, and they were all perfect. They
Exactly.
all.
Yes.
I was afraid this was going to be Twilight, and it wasn't Twilight. I was afraid that this was going to be cheaply made with poor actors, because they knew they could get a buck, and it was not. It was the Breakfast Club. I loved that phrase where like this was the Breakfast Club if they got superpowers, and
Yeah.
that's what it was. But by the end of the film, honestly, the first 2/3 of the film were my favorite. The last part was, to me, the weakest part of the film, but this isn't really a spoiler, but they play the fucking song.
Yeah. I love that. Like that and that scene, like from Alpha 5, go Power Rangers, and the scene with
Goosebumps.
the Zords running and the song playing. It's like that's your little chunk of fan service right there, and it was perfect. That's all you needed.
And the thing was, is that was moment where it took me out for just a second.
Yeah.
Where everything else looked like a real modern film, that was total 90s, but they can get away with it because that was the nostalgia moment that I would have been pissed they didn't include
Right.
if it never was. And they didn't shy away from it. There's a ton of other things I won't get into because I want it to be a surprise that they didn't shy away from. They talk about not just the Mighty Morphin saga, they are hints of other ones. And I'll just say this, I loved how the movie opened because right then and there
Yes.
you knew, okay, they're taking this seriously.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah. And yeah, so anyway, that's enough about Power Rangers. Go see it. For the love of God, go see that movie. If you were even a fan of it as a kid, if you have kids, or if you're just, curious, go see it. It's really good. You'll be surprised. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's just because it'll probably take us the last like 5.5 minutes here to run down the card.
Yeah.
So who do you have for the Andre the Giant Battle Royal?
Braun.
Yeah,
Strowman.
me too. I think that's the choice, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, he's got to win that.
Yeah.
Now it's a shame they're putting the women's match as a pre-show.
Man,
what do you think about?
They bumped it for the stupid fucking concert.
Oh, that's stupid.
That's why I'm pissed. They're like, oh yeah, and these guys want more time for the show that everybody's gonna go to the bathroom for. Like that arena is gonna empty for that concert.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
absolutely.
They gotta have this. They've gotta have the match. I've got Naomi. I think she has her Orlando moment. I do.
Yes, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Give it to her. Feel the glow. Because, Orlando loves EDM. I'll just say it. They fucking love EDM. Florida's a big EDM state. So, yeah, feel the glow. Absolutely. Even though I would like her, still love my girl Alexa Bliss, but I think Naomi's going to be getting it.
Yeah.
What about the next one here?
What do you
Neville?
have?
Austin Aries?
Yeah. I think Neville retains.
I hope Austin Aries gets it.
I want Neville to hold that title forever. I'm with the What Culture guys. I think Neville I think Neville is the shot in the arm that the Vision needed, and he just owns that. Like
I agree.
He's really found his place in this.
I do love the British guy though with the
Jack Gallagher. He's funny. Yeah, he's
he's a UFC fighter.
Really?
Yeah, he's like an actual fighter. I didn't know that.
Shit. I did not know that.
He won too a few matches, so I thought it was cool.
Nice.
All right, let's see with the next one here. So, now can't be in order.
No, because I've switched mine up to what looks like actual order. Because the next one I've got is the Raw Tag Team titles, and it's Gallows and Anderson, Enzo and Cass, and Cesaro and Sheamus in a ladder match now. This is our.
Did you see Sheamus's eye?
Yeah, it's. Yeah.
Popped open. I think Enzo and Cass are getting this.
I think Gallows and Anderson retain.
No, I think this is Enzo and Cass's big moment. I think it's been way too long. They should have had the titles a long time ago. And I think the Enzo and Cass gimmick is growing a little thin on some people.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think it's time we either put the titles on them and then, do 6 months with them as the champion or longer and then push Big Cass and have Enzo in his corner.
I'm okay with that. I like that booking. I do. I'm all right with that.
What's the next one?
Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin. I think Corbin beats him. I think it's his time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think that'd be a really cool match. I think they can both put on a great show.
Yeah. That should be interesting. The Raw Women's Fatal 4-Way, I think Sasha turns heel and takes it.
Yeah, I think so too. I think this is the moment because now, Dana Brooke is now not with Charlotte. Like this is the perfect moment for Sasha and Charlotte to be the two evil people on the show.
Yeah.
And well, but then now they're going to give Bayley a fight for the next year.
Right. Cuz she and Sasha in NXT, like that that Iron Man match at TakeOver Respect was just, you'd be hard pressed to find many better women's matches.
And who's what's her name on NXT?
Which one?
The
current champ?
The current champ.
Asuka.
Do you think she comes during WrestleMania?
I think she debuts Monday after, depending on whether or not Ember Moon beats her at TakeOver, which I think she will.
I could see her being a face with Bayley.
Asuka's an interesting one because she's just intense. So that's
yeah.
I mean, that could kind of go either way. That depends on who she's feuding with, really.
I could totally see Bayley going, I know the stack's up against me, but I have someone in my corner or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she pops out.
Yeah, maybe.
But go ahead. We don't have much time. I'm sorry.
The match of the night, the only one I'm really excited for, Cena and Nikki versus Miz and Maurice. Holy shit, that segment on SmackDown Live this week. Oh my god.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see it?
I gotta see it.
Oh, you gotta go see it. It's amazing. No. It's the best. It's Miz doing amazing heel work and John coming back out to do old John Cena. It's back when you were like, oh man, this guy is good. And I loved it.
Oh, cool.
It's a fantastic. It's another total Bella's bullshit segment. And then they cut back to them. And then Cena comes out, and instead of doing his usual, I'm a happy guy and you can't ruffle my feathers, he just rips the Miz apart.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He does it the best.
Yeah, it's so good. And of course, Cena and Nikki are going to win. Cena's going to propose. It's going to be a whole big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Rollins and Triple H. I've got Triple H.
I got Rollins.
Yeah? You think Balor comes out to even the odds?
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, I think it would be. You know what? I would not put it past the WWE to have Triple H win to further his ego.
Yeah.
But I hope he puts Seth Rollins over. He needs to be the top baby face for Raw because it's getting ridiculous now. So go ahead.
Where are we here? Styles and Shane McMahon. AJ Styles.
Yeah, I hope he wins.
Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho.
Shane doesn't mind putting someone over.
Yeah, Shane will do it. Shane has no qualms about that. Owens and Jericho. Kevin Owens for sure.
Yeah, Kevin Owens.
Roman Reigns versus The Undertaker. The everybody's gonna get pissed off and throw shit match because Roman Reigns is gonna win. Sorry.
I hope that he turns heel. I know he won't. He won't do that, but that would be the silver lining if he actually turned heel in that match.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it.
Because who's the good guy in this? Undertaker?
The Undertaker, yeah.
Aren't they both supposed to be the good guy?
And now you see the problem of Roman Reigns. How do we solve a problem like Roman Reigns?
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. I hope it's Bray. I hope Bray retains.
It's got to be him.
Because I don't get excited for Randy Orton. I just don't.
Yep. I don't know anyone that does.
And the second fuck this match of the night, Brock Lesnar, Goldberg. It's going to be Lesnar. It's going to be disappointing. It's going to suck.
Yeah. So who wins the show?
I think the intergender tag match is going to be the highlight of the night. I really do.
No, but what's the last match?
It's supposed.
I think it's going to be Taker.
No way.
If it's his last show, if it's his last WrestleMania,
it
would make sense that he's at the end.
Yeah, but as much as they've built up the idea of Orton Wyatt being the main event, I still think it's going to be Goldberg Lesnar. I still think that's going to be the main. Yeah.
Imagine that would be the dumbest way to end the show because it's a 4-minute match and it will end.
It's a minute match,
as everyone predicted.
The entrances will take longer than the actual match.
That's what I mean. But then again, same problem with the Undertaker. Even though Undertaker could last longer, he's still pretty rough.
Yeah, I want it to be Wyatt Orton, but it won't be. It's gonna be Lesnar Goldberg. I want to be wrong. I really do, but
It's good. We will find out. So once we come back, we'll talk to you guys next Monday. It's probably gonna be chock full of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you about my experience. Probably won't be there I might go to the Raw next day, but I'm sure I'll have a lot to talk about with that. But of course, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Please go to our Twitters at We Geek Podcast, at The Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Go to our Facebook group, chat. Make sure you go to iTunes, give us a review, and until next time, Captain.